What's up, everybody? The train made its way along the gentle curve of the coast of Japan, whisking me further and further from home. Across from me sat a boy, face half buried in a newspaper. He was deeply entranced in whatever article he was reading and hadn't spoken a single word to me, even when I asked if I could join him in the last compartment with any available space. He shrugged, nodded, and adjusted his newspaper without ever making eye contact with me. It's been almost an hour, in fact, and he hasn't even once looked at me. Devoid of conversation, I took to counting the buttons on the pretentiously lush carmine seat cushions. 1, 2, 3, 21, 22, and so forth, over and over. Now and again, I look out the window, where the trees were blurring by. Sometimes, the smear green would break to a quiet blue of the Sea of Japan. Eventually, the rapidity made my stomach turn, and I went back to counting the buttons on the seat cushions. 1, 2, 3. The train compartment shuddered around us. My eyes wandered to the boy and his jacket. It wasn't the school-issued blue that I and other students on the train were wearing. Instead, it was green, like varsity-like jacket with an embroidered patch poorly sewn on the front. You're a first year then? He folded the newspaper neatly and set it in his lap and looked up at me with a half-interested gaze. Did he catch me staring? Now that the paper was gone, I saw his face, watching me through heavily lidded eyes. His hair was immaculately groomed, his teeth straight and blindingly bright. There was something about him, the way the light hit him, that made him look like he was almost sparkling? Me? He glanced around the compartment, empty besides us, and laughed. No, I'm not a first year, I'm a third year. The train began to slow, metal wheels groaning against the metal tracks. The sudden shift threatened to rob me of whatever was in my stomach, but I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, willing myself to keep it together. What kind of impression would I leave, puking on a student before I even arrived at the academy? The boy frowned. I picked at the hem of my cotton skirt. That's not possible. I have never seen you here. I've seen you before. It took me a moment of mouth fishing to find the response. It's because I'm a transfer student? He laughed again. A transfer student, huh? We don't get many of those. I removed my acceptance letter from the front pocket of my uniform. The paper, heavyweight, off-white, had accumulated creases from my reading and rereading, as the words might change since the last time I read it. The boy took it, studied it, and handed it back to me.
I'll see you around.
Well then, Hannah, I suppose I'll be seeing you around. He smiled as he picked up the suitcase lying next to him. By the time I hiccuped a response, he was already gone from the compartment. I stared out into the empty hallway of the train. It was then I realized he, having gotten it from my acceptance letter, knew my name. I never got his. It's Jared. The train settled at the station, and I filed out with the rest of the uniformed students. It was early May, and the last frost of winter had come and gone. The trees were already green, their leaves shivering with the occasional gust weaving through them. The air was mild, only a few clouds hang in the sky. I walked along the room with swarms of blue-jacketed bodies, looking at little groups breaking off from the crowd. Everyone was buzzing so animatedly around me. I held my suitcase tight in my sweaty hands. It was a leather bound and worth probably more than anything it contained. It wasn't far to the school, and I was for the first time in my life thankful that what I owned didn't amount to much. My school issued black Oxford click, click, click on the pavement. I walked this walk over and over in my mind. Many nights I lay awake imagining what it'd be like to get a walk from the train to Asagao Academy for the first time. My new start. I always imagined that everything would change for me on this walk. Somehow, everything would be magically different. But as I looked around, I realized nothing had changed. I hadn't changed. By the time I reached the massive gates of Asagao, I forgot all about the disappointment slouching in the back of my throat. The school, framed by its gates twisting black metal, was just as beautiful as in the glossy photos I saw in his pamphlet. This was it. Asagao Academy. I glanced around. Swarms of students gathered by the gate. Beyond it, tiny blue people bounced around the academy's main building. A girl pressed a button on one side of the gate. Excitement filled the excitement in the air was almost palpable. Moments later, the black gate, with great effort, creaked outwards and cleared the pathway. As the rest of the group shifted into motion, I followed along, a sheep in the herd. My stomach tied itself into knots. The clouds split off in different directions. For a moment, I panicked. A tired-looking old man with gray hair called out for the first years. A cluster of fresh-faced new students gathered around him. Hey, look at that girl. I turned. A few feet away, a small group of boys were pointing at me and snickering. Pink hair, are you kidding me? How desperate can you get? Hot shame crawled down my neck. I attached myself to a group of girls and followed a few steps behind them. In the distance, cicadas were humming in time with my shoes crunching against the gravel. My hair. Wasn't my fault my hair looked this way. Lucky I found myself at the girls' dormitory. A large sign on the lawn read Primrose House. The building dwarfed me in size and sheer intimidation. How many students did Asagao Academy have? As I approached the building, a red-headed girl lingering nearby caught my attention. I looked away, then back. She was staring at me. She walked over.
Oh, you must be my roommate!
Here you go. I eyed her warily. She was smiling and bouncing in a way that suggested her life views were akin to perpetual bouncy castle.
What? Bingo.
Of course, you silly. Let me guess. Room 325? I looked back at the paper I received a month prior with a list of all the supplies I need for the year and my dorm arrangements. Yeah, that's me. She laughed, but I couldn't figure out what was so funny. Was she laughing at me? When I found out my roommate was a transfer student, I knew you were gonna be total main character. I'm sorry? A what?
Mm-hmm.
When I saw you outside the gate, I knew it was you. I mean, look at that hair. I felt a lump forming in my throat. What was she talking about? She had to be making fun of me. I hadn't spent more than 5 minutes on campus and I'm already being mocked. My hands started to tremble. Is there something wrong with my hair? Her face slackened from a amused smile to a worried expression. And then she started to laugh again.
Oh, no. It's great, I'm sorry. We're getting off on the wrong foot, aren't we? Oh, gosh. I'm Mai Sasaki. You must be Hana.
I bowed my head.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you, Mai. All your school books are waiting in our room with your welcome letter, and I read the envelope. I hope you're not mad. started walking towards the dorm's front door. I followed her like a lost puppy. Did you check in at the front desk already? No, I didn't know I was supposed to. Good. They offer a staff member to give you a tour of the campus, but I can show you around. We don't get many transfer students in year 3, you know. Is that your only bag? Only one? I bought an extra bag full of stuff to decorate our room with. I started already. I hope you don't mind. But I did wait to string the lights. I thought we could do it together, you know? She spoke quickly, and the words bubbled out of her mouth. She left me no time to answer until the end of her monologue. Yeah, okay, that sounds great. She held the door open for me, and I hurried inside. Girls filed up and down the hallway, howling greetings and exchanging vague niceties that they were more often not. How was your break? And look how tan you got. Everyone seemed to know each other. I followed Maya. She led me through the maze of students up 2 flights of stairs. Each dorm floor looked the same as the last. Narrow, white doors lining both sides of pink walls. Thin gold numbers tacked on to the front of each, with the numbers rising as we climbed. You're not missing anything with the campus tour, I promise. Mr. Satomo does it every year, and he's like totally dull. He drags you around every campus and talks in his weird squeaky voice. I'll tell you everything you need to know. She smiled, trying to let this calm my nerves. Thanks. We headed down the hallway to the 3rd floor. Maya stopped us in front of the door number 325. Here we are. The smell of potpourri wafted through the room. The walls, like the hallway, were a soft powdery pink. Maya had already defaced them with tapestries of posters, magazine cutouts, and photographs. Some of the photographs were cats, but most of them were male models and rugged musicians. A bunk bed, 2 writing desks with wooden chairs, a small dresser, and a mirrored vanity, all clearly provided by the school, were the only pieces of furniture in the tiny room. The top bunk was already covered in neatly tucked in blankets and throw pillows of clashing patterns and colors. The bottom bunk had one stiff-looking pillow, a thin cotton blanket that I didn't need to touch to know it was horribly itchy. I must have grimaced because May quickly smiled at me. I bought way too many pillows and blankets. I always overpack. I went to Italy over break, and Mom was really mad at me because I brought 5 bags and we were only there for a week. She laughed, pulling several pillows and blankets from her bunk and arranging them neatly on mine. Suddenly, a twinge of guilt and embarrassment hit me.
Perfection.
There, that's much better. Thanks, Mai. I placed my suitcase in the bottom bunk and began to unpack its contents. Several changes of clothes, pens, pencils, an empty notebook, a few photographs of my father, a dilapidated stuffed bunny, a portable radio, and a small black box. May opened the curtains and the sunlight poured in. So, where are you from? I slid the now empty suitcase under the bottom bunk. About 2 hours north of here, it's a town called Amirizu. You probably haven't heard of it. I set the stuffed rabbit, Mr. Bunny, on my bed besides the purple and teal throw pillow. Oh, did you go to a different boarding school or... No, I went to public school down the street from my house. Public school? Was that like what students mean? Did you have a lot of friends? I always went to private school. My parents work a lot and my dad goes overseas, so I think they stuck me here for convenience. Hey, what's that? I removed an ornate origami crane from the black box that was setting unclaimed on the writing desk, and set it on the unclaimed writing desk, backwards. Oh, this? I skipped that, my bad. I set it beside a stack of thick books that I presume were provided to me. Wow, that's so pretty. I've never seen paper like that before. Oh, the lights, let me get them. May went to her own desk, opened the drawer, and pulled out a long, tangled string of fairy lights. I thought these would look nice over here. Help me string them up. She grabbed a container of push pins and pulled her wooden desk chair out and over to one wall. I did the same with my own. Together, we pinged the lights around the perimeter of the room. How was the train ride over? Did you meet anyone? Alright. Day 1. My journal. Asagao Academy. Didn't sleep. My dad dropped me off at the train station. He looked at my hands and stroked my hair. He looked like your mother did, he said, but he didn't elaborate. I miss mom. I miss dad. Hopefully this will be my fresh start. Alright. I don't know if I read this. How was the train ride over? Did you meet anybody? No, not really. I was in a compartment with some guy and...
What?
Some guy? Was he cute? Well, yes, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't even get his name. She seemed disappointed for a moment and then perked back up. You'll have to point him out to me if you see him again. Okay. Once we finished stringing up the lights, Mine climbed over to her chair and brushed her hands together triumphantly.
Yeah!
Done. Now it's time for lunch. The food here is pretty good. There's a ramen place down the street from campus with that's out of this world. But the school only lets us leave campus on weekends. Mai walked to the window. We could go today because it's Sunday and it's pretty nice out. I guess you want to go to the cafe because you just got here. We could... She suddenly interrupted by her own enthusiastic laughter. Oh my gosh, Mimi Santos totally tripped outside and felt her face. I saw it. Oh. Does that mean to laugh? Maybe I shouldn't have. Oh well, let's go eat. I'm starved. She led me out of the room before I even had a chance to respond. The cafeteria was buzzing with students excited for the new year. The only people as nervous looking as I were the table of skittish, wide-eyed first years. I stepped in the line behind Mai, taking an empty plastic tray. We shuffled through, asking for helpings from the sully cafeteria workers when we passed something that looked good. With full trays, Mai led me to a table in the back where a few students were already sitting. She sat down, and I sat across from her. Hi, Mai. How was your break? It was good. I went to Italy and Spain. My dad fell off a jet ski and broke his ankle.
Uh-huh.
But it's better now, though. Oh, that's nice. I expected to be introduced, but the girl turned back to her group, and Mai turned back to me. She began assaulting her food with a fork and tell me practically minute-by-minute account of her fleeting romance last summer with a boy that she met on the beach and didn't go further than a few salty kisses. I sat back and let Mai talk. For the first time since arriving on campus, I finally felt like I was able to breathe. I picked out my Brussels sprouts and studied Mai as she spoke. The more she talked, the more I began to notice little details about her. She had a songbird voice.
What?
She was dynamic, and her face twisted this way and that with exaggerated expressions when she spoke. She laughed often. She imitated people with wildly unflattering voices, seeming unrelated to her actual opinions of them. Most notably, she talked a lot. I didn't find this particularly annoying because it filled the silence, and she hardly ever asked questions that required my full attention. Just as Mai was rounding off a shockingly detailed account of the one time she actually walked in on her friend's older brother in the act of changing, a flash of similar green caught my eye. I glanced over. Hey, that's him! Huh? Who? I leaned across the table to whisper just in case he could hear me over the ambient chatter of the classroom. That's the boy for the train. That's him.
What?
Jared? Yeah, with the green wool jacket and the swoopy hair. Steve picked up his tray and walked past us. Something seemed to catch his eye. Oh, it's you. I looked at him and suddenly realized he was talking to me. Hana, I met you on the train. How are things settling down for you? Oh, really well. I found my roommate and she's been helping me out. I gestured to Mai, who was thunderstruck. In fact, looking around, everyone was. Everyone stopped eating to turn and stare at Jarrett and me. My shoulders bunched up around my neck. If you ever need any help, I'll be around. 3rd year, right? I nodded.
All right.
Some of my friends are in that year. Of course, they can't compare to me, but I'll give them the heads up to look out for you. He flashed a dazzling smile and winked. It's the least I could do for such a cute girl. Well, I'll see you around. I watched a torrent of thoughts racing through my head as he took a seat next to another guys who were all wearing the same jacket. That's Jared! She tore her eyes away from him and looked at me.
He's so cute.
He's the most beautiful guy in school.
Oh, Jared.
I can't believe he just looked at me. I looked at Mai. Her cheeks were glowing an indecent pink. Why are they all wearing those jackets? Why aren't all guys supposed to wear blue blazers as part of their uniforms? No, they're allowed to. You know Jared? The girl turned around and was looking at me with sudden interest. Did I know him? I only talked to him a few seconds on the train, so not really. We weren't really friends or anything. But looking around at this girl was the only one interested. Everyone seemed to be listening in. They seemed so surprised he talked to me. Maybe a little white lie wouldn't hurt. You guys know how I am in these games. When I got an option, I tell the truth. Oh. She looked me up and down, sniffed, and walked away. Mai leaned in towards me. Don't mind Mimi. She's just trying to get in with you. Get in with me? Why? Well, you asked about those guys in their jackets, right? They're the Normal Boots Club jackets. They're what? Normal Boots Club? They're the guys right there. Look at them. It's a club we have here at school. It's like totally exclusive and only full of the coolest students. They get together and play video games or something. The one on the right is not John. He's known as JonTron, and that's his bird, Jock. John is also president of the drama club here at school. Next to him is PBG. He and John founded Normal Boots together. PBG is one of the best soccer players on our team. And then there's Gerard. People call him the completionist because he's obsessed with completing things. He has the biggest itty bitty kitty collection I've ever seen. Next to him is Jared, known as Pro Jared. He's a model. And then there's Satchbag, but everyone calls him Satch. He's like crazy smart. And those guys over there are Paul, Nick, and Josh. They write a column in the school newspaper called Continue. Paul, the one standing up, is the student council president. And the guy on the end is Shane. He knows more about video games than anyone ever. She exhales a dreamy sigh into her mashed potatoes. So, how would someone join the Normal Boots? You don't choose the boots, Hannah. The boots choose you. And that sounds like a good place to stop. Thank you guys for watching. Crew Point out.